Hello, this is Jason Huntler. I'll now go over exercise 6 on page 101. And, I can think of about a dozen ways of doing this one. Most all of them simpler, but, in the spirit of creating this in the manner that, the book has done in the exercises just preceding this particular exercise, then I'm going to do it using those techniques. Um, yeah, it's fine. Leave it like that. Okay, so if we look at this part, clearly it's a round part, so we want to revolve it. And so basically the top half of the section view basically represents our revolve sketch. So if you look at the isometric view, the base is kind of setting in the front plane, but since it's a revolve, we want to do our sketch in a perpendicular plane to that, so I'm going to select the right plane, and I'm going to sketch, and I'm just going to concentrate, in this top corner here. What I'll do now then is I'm going to use these corner rectangles. The first rectangle, I'm going to start there, and I'm going to go ahead and make this one 100 millimeters by 12, as close as I can get. 100 millimeters by, or no, 50 millimeters by, yeah, 100 millimeters by 12. So I'll draw like that, and then the next rectangle I'm going to draw, and this needs to be about 75 by 12. Check. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is smart dimension before I start trimming this thing up. So I need this to be, 75. I need this to be 100. I said 100. And that's why you dimension before you trim things up, because I would have really messed up that sketch if I'd left it like that. This needs to be 12, and this needs to be 12. Okay, so now I have the sketch looking the way I want. I want to do first some trimming, so I'll use the power trim, and I'll just come through there and cut out those. But then notice I've got a couple of little line segments that I don't want, so I'm going to, oops, wrong direction. I'm going to go ahead and delete those, and then what I want to do is now I'm left with just the line segments that I want, and that looks pretty good. But notice I still have like this big corner to do, so basically that's a chamfer. And so I'm going to sketch a chamfer, and it's going to be 45 millimeters. And so I'm going to select this line, and there's my chamfer. Now for the other line, I want to do an offset entity, and I want to do that an offset of 12. And I want to do an offset of this one. Notice it flipped to the wrong side, but I can hit reverse and hit check. And now I'm going to go back and I'm going to do trim entities again, this time a corner. I'm going to grab there and there and get that corner, there and there, and get that corner, and now I've got my shape. So that's basically using the approaches that they taught us in the exercises preceding. So now I've got my shape, and I'm going to exit the sketch. I'm going to go to an ISO view so that's easier to see what's going on. So there is my shape. And the feature I want to create is a revolved base off that. And I want to use that little line segment right there, and boom, we've got the shape that we want. So that's how you create the basic feature. And now I'm going to create the other features. So I've got a couple of slots that are going to be down in the bottom there. So I'll say sketch, sketch, and I'm going to go normal to, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so that's just easier for me to see. Now I want to do a let me let me try a center point slot on these. So I'll snap to that, and there that says 180. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so I'm going to smart dimension. This line segment is supposed to be 30 millimeters. 30, check. And I want 12 millimeters on this. Check. Check. Okay, so, and then my distance is supposed to be 12.5 millimeters from the center. Sorry, I forgot to hit smart dimension. 12.5, check, check, and now I can exit my sketch, go to ISO view whenever I extrude, and then I'm going to do an extruded cut. It's going to be through all, and my arrow is pointing the right way, so done, and there's that. I select this feature, and then I say mirror. I can create a mirror image of it right across the way and hit check, and now I've got both of those. And now I just need my hole pattern. So again, always go back to my ISO view when I'm looking at stuff. I want to select this surface, and I want to do no, I want to do hole wizard. So hole wizard, and I want a, looks like M8 by 1. So I want a threaded hole. It's metric, it's a tabbed hole. It has to be 8 by 1. There's 8 by 1. It's going to be blind, and it is set to 21 millimeters deep. It's usually always the default setting, so never mess with these buttons when you're doing these exercises, because that's just not the point. And then for a position, looks like I forgot to draw my bolt hole circle. Let's see diameter on my bolt hole circle. Just looks like it's in the center of that thing. So whether I want to do that. Well, I'll do like we did in that other one. So I'll get out of this, but then I will sketch the center line. It's going to be in that plane. And I'm going to do a front view. And I'm going to zoom in. And I'm just going to draw from that point to that point. Escape, exit sketch, and now I will go back to Hole Wizard. Fortunately, all the settings that I picked are going to be left in there, except for the end condition, which is blind. And then when I select positions, I'll select that face, and then I'm going to snap to that midpoint and say check. And there's my first hole, and then all I have to do is say circular pattern, and it's looking for an axis, so I'm just going to grab that outside. And there are only 8 holes, so I'll check that, and that completes this one. Again, in this case they haven't selected a material, so we'll just do save as. We'll call this exercise 6. And put our initials, check, and that's all for that one.